When you think of Aphrodite, you think of love, beauty, passion, and desire. She is the ideal of beauty that artists have chased for millennia. But what if that was all a lie? What if the goddess of beauty was born from an act of unparalleled violence? Forget the sanitized tales. The true origin of Aphrodite isn't a story of love. It's a story of mutilation and rage. Before the Olympians were the primordial gods, Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. Uranus was a tyrant, imprisoning his children. Deep within Gaia, in desperation, she forged a great sickle, giving it to her son, Cronus, who ambushed his father and committed the ultimate act of patricide and castration. He cast the remains into the sea, which boiled with a grotesque mixture of divine blood and celestial seed. It was from this violent, chaotic froth that a figure of impossible beauty arose, Aphrodite. This isn't just a bizarre footnote. It's the psychological blueprint for her entire existence. Born from violence, her power over desire isn't a gentle, nurturing force. It is the chaotic, untamable energy of a dismembered god, and she would spend eternity making sure the world felt it. Her divine nature was expressed through a burning, pathological vanity that could not suffer any rival. Her first major victim was a mortal woman whose only crime was being beautiful, the princess Psyche. Mortals began to worship Psyche, neglecting the temples of Aphrodite. To the goddess, this was a declaration of war. Her first plan was a masterclass in psychological cruelty. She ordered her son, Eros, to make Psyche fall in love with the most vile and monstrous creature imaginable. She wanted to humiliate her, to defile her beauty. But the plan backfired when Eros pricked himself with his own arrow and fell in love with Psyche. When Aphrodite discovered their secret affair, her rage became incandescent. She subjected Psyche to a series of impossible tasks, each a carefully designed death sentence. She was forced to sort a mountain of grain, retrieve golden fleece from man-eating sheep, and for the final task, Aphrodite dropped all pretense. She ordered Psyche to journey into the underworld itself. This wasn't a trial, it was a command to commit suicide. For the simple crime of being beautiful, the goddess of love demanded a mortal girl march into hell. But Aphrodite's vanity didn't just operate on a personal scale. She was perfectly willing to watch entire civilizations burn for an ego boost. The single greatest war in Greek mythology started at a wedding, where Eris, the goddess of discord, rolled a golden apple inscribed for the fairest into the divine feast. Immediately, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite lunged for it. Zeus, terrified of choosing, outsourced the decision to Paris, a prince of Troy. But this wasn't a fair contest. It was a bribery negotiation. Hera offered him ultimate power. Athena offered ultimate glory. Then came Aphrodite. She didn't offer power or glory. She promised him the love of the most beautiful mortal woman who ever lived, Helen of Sparta. A young prince's choice was easy. He handed the golden apple to Aphrodite, and with that single vain act, the world was doomed. Helen was already married to the king of Sparta. Aphrodite's gift was a kidnapping contract that ignited a fire that would consume the world for 10 long years. Heroes would be slaughtered and cities burned to ash. All because one goddess couldn't bear the thought that she might not be the prettiest in the room. Starting a war was a grand gesture, but Aphrodite was also a specialist in the intimate and psychologically twisted punishment. This is the story of Mira, a princess whose mother boasted she was more beautiful than the goddess. For this trivial offense, Aphrodite unleashed a curse of unimaginable horror, infecting Mira with an overpowering, unnatural lust for her own father. This was a divine madness, a constant torture that drove Mira, with the help of her nurse, to trick her father into sleeping with her under the cover of darkness. When the king brought a lamp and discovered the truth, his horror drove him into a homicidal rage. He drew his sword to kill his own pregnant daughter on the spot. Mira fled into the night, praying for deliverance. The gods, taking pity, transformed her into a myrrh tree. But the curse wasn't over. 9 months later, the bark of the tree split open, and from within, her son was born, Adonis, a boy of such breathtaking beauty that Aphrodite herself would claim him as her mortal lover. For a perceived insult, she inflicted an incestuous curse, drove a father to attempt murder, and from the ashes of the family she destroyed, she harvested her future boy toy. Aphrodite's rage was also reserved for anyone who dared to ignore her power altogether. This was the lesson learned by Hippolytus, son of King Theseus, a young man devoted to chastity and the goddess Artemis. He openly scorned Aphrodite, viewing love as a weakness. To the goddess, this was a profound personal insult. Her revenge was a slow-burning fire designed to destroy his entire world. She cursed his innocent stepmother Phaedra with a maddening, all-consuming lust for him. Consumed by a passion she knew was shameful, Phaedra confessed her love to Hippolytus, who reacted with horror and disgust. Humiliated and terrified he would expose her, Phaedra took her own life, but left a suicide note falsely accusing Hippolytus of assaulting her. Theseus, blinded by grief, used an unbreakable curse from his father, Poseidon, to destroy his own son. As Hippolytus drove his chariot along the shoreline, a monstrous bull rose from the sea. His horses bolted, and he was dragged across the jagged rocks until his body was torn to pieces. For the crime of ignoring her, she made his entire family the instrument of his brutal, agonizing death. Destroying families out of spite was a specialty, but her toxic influence ran deeper. She could weaponize love itself, transforming a powerful woman into an unstoppable monster. This is the hidden truth of Medea. When the hero Jason sought the Golden Fleece, he was facing certain death. His divine protector, Hera, asked Aphrodite for a favor: make the king's daughter, the powerful sorceress, Medea, fall in love with Jason. This wasn't a gentle romance. It was a hostile takeover of her mind. The moment Eros's arrow struck, Medea's loyalty to her family and kingdom was incinerated by a divinely engineered obsession. Under this curse, she betrayed her father, stole the fleece, and to help Jason escape, she murdered her own brother Absyrtus, cutting his body into pieces. This horrific act was the first bloody dividend of Aphrodite's curse. Years later, when Jason inevitably abandoned her, that artificial love twisted into bottomless hate, driving her to murder the 2 sons she had with him. Medea is remembered as the monster, but Aphrodite built the bomb and handed it to her, creating a tragedy. For her own amusement, her cruelty could also be creative. The women of Lemnos had stopped honoring her, so she cursed every single one of them with a foul, unbearable stench. Their husbands, repulsed, abandoned them for new concubines from Thrace. Driven to madness by the humiliation and betrayal, the women of Lemnos rose up and slaughtered every single man on the island. Aphrodite didn't need an army. She inflicted a disgusting curse, engineered a betrayal, and watched as the women she cursed became the murderers of their own families. So what have we learned? The goddess we call the embodiment of love was one of mythology's most prolific agents of hate. She is the goddess not of love, but of desire, of lust, obsession, vanity, and the irrational madness that overthrows all reason. And she does not nurture this force, she wields it. In her hands, love was never a gift, it was a weapon. The wars, suicides, and murders were not unfortunate side effects. They were the entire point. And in the end, it makes a terrible kind of sense. A goddess born from violent mutilation was never going to preside over a gentle emotion. She is the ultimate proof that the most beautiful things are often the most toxic. The perfect, irresistible poison that looks and feels like love, right up until the moment it destroys you. If these dark truths from mythology made you question the stories you thought you knew, maybe hit that subscribe button. Because the gods were rarely as noble as the statues built for them, and there are plenty more monsters hiding in plain sight. And trust me, you haven't heard anything yet.